Welcome back, friends. I just wanted to take you down memory lane and take you through our kitchen redo journey of 2022. These are just some pictures of what our house looked like when we purchased our house in the summer, end of the summer of 2019. We purchased our home, and this is what our kitchen, dining room, it was kind of like a breakfast nook over there on that side right there, is where the sliding glass door, that's kind of what it was set up as. And you can see the wall that's there, and that door goes down to our basement. So these are just some pictures of what it looked like. This is after we moved in. I was putting some things out, and we had those cabinets there. We took them down and we put those shelves up because that gave us, you couldn't really get into those cabinets the way that the peninsula was sticking out. So the open shelving was much better there. But the floor, you can see, was green in the kitchen and in front of the door. That wall is directly in front of the basement door. And with the peninsula sticking out, that little walkway through there was always tough. These cabinets here in this dining room that you're looking at, we added those because, as you can see, the kitchen really did not have any storage for food. Once you put your pots and pans, there was really no place to put extra things like food or, for a family with kids. So stepping back here, you can see again the floor in front of the door and the kitchen and the hardwood floor. Now the hardwood floors are real hardwood floors, but they're terribly scratched up in front of the door. It was just a single guy that lived here, but I believe he had a dog. We did have a dishwasher there, but we opted to take it out because the refrigerator, in order to open the doors of the refrigerator with this wall here, you had to pull it out about 2 feet. And so then the dishwasher, the door wouldn't open. So we opted just to take that out and just use it for storage for the time being until we were able to get to a point where we could do the redo. This is showing the floor, how bad it was messed up. It really needs a good sanding. Even on the parts that we end up leaving, we still need to do that. But those are the cabinets that we added just to give us extra storage and food storage. And I used that for quite a while over there as my coffee bar, and I loved it. It worked out great. But we opted to just change things up as we go through this, and I'll explain how we end up doing. I added the paper on the back of that peninsula there that looks like stone, and all over the wall that you see by the window there on that wall right there, you can tell. And it looked great. It worked for a while, but we were ready to do our redo. So my husband took the stove out, and he was working here on removing the peninsula. And you'll have to bear with me because I'm kind of splicing together some small videos and some pictures. So this whole thing is going to be back and forth to some pictures and some videos. And some of the film may be shaky because I didn't have a great camera back then. But as you can see, he's already removed the stove and he's just removing the peninsula. We're getting ready to come up on, I have a couple clips of some videos that I took when my daughter's friend was over and we started to take out the bulkheads. So I will stop the voiceover here and just let you enjoy our little bit of fun that we were having. Please excuse my husband's obnoxious burp at the beginning. Got it? Mm-hmm. Alright, babe. Babe. You gonna hit?
Yeah, go.
I
Here.
don't need to hit it.
Here, your drink.
What do I need to hit it for?
Yeah.
Watch it.
Ah!
Yeah! Why the board so high? I'm like a machine gun.
Okay, so as you can see, we had a lot of fun punching holes in the wall there for a little bit, but now we're back to it. My son is in here helping my husband tear down these older cabinets, and we ended up moving a lot of these to our basement, and we're utilizing most of them downstairs, so not going to waste, that's for sure. We can use the storage in other areas, and these were really good cabinets, but we just needed to get more storage, and then we needed stuff that would match. So the top cabinets have been removed here, and he's working on the countertop. There he's working on the bulkheads. So as you can tell, I'm going back and forth from some pictures here that I had and some small videos. But we ended up moving the cabinets there in the center to give us an idea of where our island would be, kind of playing around with the idea of how things would be set up. Obviously, the wall there will be gone. It was, thank God, it was not a load-bearing wall, so we were able to remove it, which was awesome because that door was just, or that wall was in the way of the basement door. When you would come up the basement, if you were carrying Christmas totes and things like that, it was just a nuisance. I'm not sure why the person who built the house built it that way. But anyway, we opted to take it out since it wasn't a load-bearing wall and we could do that. That is a cabinet that we were originally thinking of we were going to use and get like kind of like a cheaper base model. But once we realized with like the pullouts and things in those, they weren't as sturdy. So we opted to change and do an upgrade, and we ended up taking those back because we just kind of had those sitting there for the time being to see what they look like. Now the tall cabinets there, we ended up keeping because they're not exactly the same as what we ended up purchasing, but they don't look too far off, so it's not that big of a deal, and they're not sitting right up against it. But over there we had moved the refrigerator, and that's where our refrigerator will be on that wall in the end. And we will have a pantry built over there. Now, looking back, there are some things obviously I would change or do over that I ended up doing that now we've done. And it's like, well, I wish I maybe would have done it this way, but you know, it all worked out. It looks great, and I'm sure you've seen it in other videos. If I'm not sure when I'm posting this one, I'm trying to get some content before I put some videos out there. There was our babies, our one little dog there. He's since passed, but we still have Toby, the one Bichon. But these are just pictures still of kind of where we were at in the stages of what we were doing. We kept our sink for as long as we possibly could upstairs because we were pretty much living out of the basement this whole summer. We have like a TV area set up down there, and we kind of moved some of the cabinets from up here downstairs, and we put a board across it, and we took the stove down there at one point, and I was cooking in the basement, and I would come upstairs for water, and it was a lot. It was a process. So I'm thinking we were probably in this process for at least 3 to 4 months. I cannot remember exactly the dates because it has been a while, and I'm going back through pictures and videos and trying to piece this all together. But here he's removing these bulkheads because, like I said, we didn't need them, and it would have been kind of goofy to have them sticking out there when the peninsula wasn't going to be there anymore. We were going to have like a floating island. And I couldn't believe how much, once we got these down, how much it just even opened the space up. It just made things look so much more spacious. So there he's still taking down the bulkheads. We worked together on this project. He would tear down and I would carry boards outside or pile up the drywall and put things in the truck. And yeah, so we just kind of tag teamed all of this together. The more that we could do on our own to save money, in the end, that this is what we were doing. We were trying to tear down. My husband knows electrical work and things, so he was able to do the electrical aspect of all of our lighting and our recess lighting that we end up adding, um, which was a huge money saver right there in and of itself. So um, there I am coming in and trying to hold the board before he takes out the last screws and things don't come crashing down. But yeah, we kind of worked together. You can see the trash can there just piled up. We would take it and we would dump it and come back and fill it up again. And it was a long, messy process, very stressful when you're kind of living out of your basement and stuff. But we still had a home and we still had a place to, you know, go to and cook dinner and do things. And we were still able to, you know, function, and it worked out. We did do a lot of eating out during this time because although I did cook in the basement, it wasn't, I guess it wasn't always as easy and as functional, but we did do it, but we did do a lot of eating out. So I'm not going to lie there. So the money we probably saved with doing the work ourselves, we probably paid a lot in food, but we had fun embarking upon this journey together. It was neat kind of putting our ideas together. We did not have a designer. We just kind of went on what we thought would work and what we thought would look nice. And so that's kind of how we ended up. So I'll just kind of stop talking here and then I'll pick back up as I see different things and kind of share. Okay, so as you can see, with the bulkheads gone, it just opened up the space just with that. Here my husband's removing the drywall. We did our best to try to save and salvage as much of the drywall as we could. And then I had the lovely job of removing the tiles. Yes, I did. So I removed all of these kitchen tiles. We did leave what was under the kitchen sink base for the longest time just because we left our sink for as long as we could. My husband was doing wiring, and that was the floor over there. And both my husband and I both removed that flooring in front of the door. This is some shaky video here. I guess I'm showing you just kind of our progress along that way, where we're at there. So yeah, it was coming along, but it was a lot of work. And now we're getting ready to, I think we're going to be moving into this floor in front of the door here where it's all messed up. All of that gets removed. Yep, what I'm pointing at right there. And then the dining room floor over there, the breakfast nook, we removed it because we opted to do a tile floor throughout the kitchen and throughout the breakfast nook area, and we combined the two rooms with the wall being down, and we made one huge kitchen. Looking back now, both my husband and I wish that we would have just maybe called somebody and got them to piece in that kind of floor right there, and see if we could have got it pieced together and put more floor down in the kitchen part and in front of the door and then just had everything resanded. But I don't know. We didn't do that, and we opted to get the tile floor. The tile floor is beautiful. However, the workmanship wasn't the best, and so we're not 100% satisfied with it. We've had lots of hiccups. I have grout that just continually comes out right now, and it was really unlevel in quite a lot of spots. So I'll share more about that later. But right here is the wall that we're getting ready to remove, and see how the door just kind of comes like right at that wall. It was just a pain. So once that wall is gone, it's amazing how much space it created and how much more open it felt. But obviously the door is just so much easier to have access to going up and down the steps, especially if you're carrying items. You didn't have to worry about running right into that wall. But my husband here, he was removing the frame, yeah, the open, like the door frame there, and then he starts removing all of the drywall off of the wall here. We keep this section here by the back wall because that part still stays. We just take it over to the inside of the opening, but he's removing the drywall on the wall so that we can get it down to the frame. And then we had a carpenter come in and actually removed the wall, even though we had somebody come in and tell us that we had several people check to make sure that it was not a load bearing wall, because we do have an upstairs, so we didn't want to have any issues. But it was not a load bearing wall, and we were able to remove it, thank God. And but even though it wasn't a load bearing wall, we still opted to have somebody who did construction to take that down. So this is where we're at. He's just removing the drywall. So while it was summertime, let's just listen to a little bit of summer music while we watch him take down this wall, or at least the drywall part. So at this point, he's just checking things out, and I'm not really sure what he's doing here. But I know at one point here, he gets up and he's just kind of looking back through. We're just, we're sure that it's not a load bearing wall. But anyway, he's moved on here and he's taking down the frame, the trim around the door, because we had to remove all this floor. As you can see, this was back-breaking work. Whew, that's hard to say. This was back-breaking work. I helped him do this as well. I'm not on video doing it, but I did help him do this, and this was hard work. He did the majority of it. He did most of it. I helped him do some, but he would tear it up mostly, and then I would haul it out and throw it in the back of the truck. So, and here he's doing the electrical work. So thankfully, he knows what he's doing when it comes to all this stuff. And there's our sink that we left there. And that's just how we left it for the longest time, because we wanted to make sure we had a kitchen sink. My little puppy, this is Toby. He was checking things out like, what is going on? They didn't understand why we were constantly living in the basement. But he's just checking things out and wandering around. We made sure to keep him, and there's our little Parker, who's since passed on, but I wanted to leave him in this video. He was whining, he wanted to go out, so we had to let him out. These are the cabinets that we ended up purchasing, and they were Maple Rye Shenandoah cabinetry. There is with the that's with the wall removed. I mean, it was amazing how open it was just with the wall gone. So, and at this point, we have now got construction on our pantry that was going in. He's still removing floor. The pantry was basically, I thought that shelves was supposed to come with the pantry. When you say a pantry, I thought a pantry got shelves, but I don't know. It was basically like a closet. So my husband ended up having to put braces in there, and we ended up using the shelves that you saw at the beginning of the video that our friend made for us that we put in our kitchen. He had made several of those, and the ones that were above the coffee bar at the time, I reused those, and we put those inside the pantry. So that gave me shelves for the pantry. So at this point, as he's finishing up the floor, removing the Durarock there in front of the door, we finish up the flooring, and then here in a second, you're about to see where we finally have drywall on the ceiling and the recess can lights, the hose. And so here's a clip of the new lighting.
Ready?
Yeah, it's
All
playing.
right, we got some of the lighting. We're moving forward. We're moving forward to some of the lighting. No, contact.
Whoa! You've put them in already?
We got started.
Whoa, it's so bright.
So we're just missing 1, 2.
So
Those
this
two?
one and this one are the pendants that'll be hanging over the island that'll be here. And then this will be just another light. You did good, Daddy.
Look, yeah, I'm in line.
You did awesome.
You look
It's so
awesome.
bright in
When
here.
they're on, you can't even see the outer rim of them.
Hey, look at me. You did good.
I was so proud of him. I'm still so proud of him. I knew he could do it, and he did an amazing job. And our kitchen is so bright with all those lights. And so here you can see, well, even with the ceiling done, we're painting. And with everything combined with the dining room over there connected to the kitchen, we had to paint it all because you couldn't just paint half or you would have seen it. So I painted all of that part right there, and then he did where he's at and all the dining room section. We kind of split it in like half. We had our refrigerator over in the dining room section while we were working on the kitchen. Everything was kind of chaos and mayhem, but we made it work. It all worked out in the end, and the lighting was up, and of course we were still waiting on the pendant lights, but I was in the process here of painting this door white, and I think I needed like a second coat on that one, but he also added, I think here I'm going to show you, yeah, he added the recess can lights right here going down the hallway, so it blended in with the kitchen, and it just makes it look more seamless. Those doors in the back, I end up changing those to white as well. When we moved in this house, all the doors were that color. Some of them are still that color. I still have to paint. A lot of them upstairs are still that color. I have not painted them. I am not a fan of painting doors. It's just, ugh, it's a tedious job. Here he's hanging up our new light fixture in the dining room because we got this light to match the pendant lights that will later be hung in the kitchen. So this is just where he's just kind of working on that light. And here I'm just kind of showing, like, you know, with the refrigerator being there, things are moved and shuffled around. Obviously that's going to be the case because, you know, we're in construction. Nothing can stay neat and organized when you're in construction. If you can do that, kudos to you, because it was a mess around here for quite a while. Upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, all the way upstairs, everything was quite a mess. So, but we managed. We had the table. We moved stuff where we needed it at times when we needed it in the places where we needed it, and we just, yeah, we made it work. Okay, at this point you can see our sink is finally gone. And so we were finally getting to remove the tile that was underneath of the sink. So at this point, now I was doing any dinner dishes or anything. We tried to use like paper plates and stuff like that when we were eating at home. But if I did cook at home, any like pots or pans that I cooked with, we were doing dishes in the bathtub. So, you know, you just do what you can do and get things done. But we had the floor by this point, and we were getting ready for installation of our floor. I'm not sure how much of those clips I have coming up, but yeah, this is where we're just taking out the tile, the last piece of the green tile. There she goes. That's the last piece of green tile. So that ugly green tile is gone. Now here are some pictures of the floor as it was being laid down. I did not show pictures or videos of, I guess, the person that did our floor. I'm just going to keep that out of here, but this is our floor. I love the tile. I love the look of it, and it's pretty. It's beautiful, but we switched carpenters at this point. So this is a dear friend of ours. He is such a sweet guy. I just love him dearly, and he was an amazing, amazing blessing to us, because this is kind of what we were left with in some situations that we were in. And yeah, so as you can see, we had some issues. That was filled there. That little hole was filled by the person with that did the floor. But the floor, once we started setting up the cabinets, we found out real fast that the floor had a lot of issues with it, and things were not level. You'll see in one clip where on the island, our dear friend had to actually sand the top part of the cabinet down to get it level, because if it's not completely level, when they come in to lay your countertops, excuse me, they will not lay those countertops. It has to be level and square. And so we had a lot of issues, but God bless him. He is an amazing friend of ours, and he brought his buddy down and helped us. I just bought this decal from Amazon and placed that on the door for the pantry. Yeah, these are our cabinets. They came in. You saw the picture in the basement there. Our cabinets had come in. We opted to do the white on the top and then the maple rye on the bottom. There's our inside of our pantry, where we still do not have the trim, because we didn't get that. I'm not sure why we didn't get that, but we did. So anyway, we're moving on right along here, and we've got our cabinets are being set up. My farmhouse sink, that is a doozy of a job, but like I said, our friend is an amazing carpenter and craftsman. I mean, his home itself is beautiful. He built all of his cabinets, and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And so I knew I was in good hands with him, and so he made sure that, we were taken care of. And I gave him a picture of a hood vent that I liked off of Pinterest. And I said, I'd like to have something like this. And you will see later how he built our hood vent, and him and his buddy came in and put it in, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. So at this point this is backwards. The sink wasn't in on this clip, but it was on the one before. Oh well. Here he is shaving down this cabinet because we had to figure out some way to get this level. On one picture I will actually show you. You'll be able to see just what I mean, how we were dealing with it. But he was amazing. He worked it out. And when the guys came in, to lay the countertops, which we got everything from Lowe's. Our kitchen cabinets and our countertops, we got all of that from Lowe's. And when they came in to lay our countertops, there were no issues because, like I said, we were in good hands. There's my hood vent. Oh, he did an amazing job. And of course, now that's with it not being painted or stained. That's just up kind of raw. And there they were working on the outside part of the hood vent and everything, getting everything hooked up. I had to buy the insert, and they put it in. There's the outside vent. Just, yeah, I'm super happy with the hood vent and the way everything turned out. There my husband is putting on the handles. Now this is the picture showing how the unlevel the floor was. Okay, friends, we're getting ready to come up to the end of this journey. Our hood vent gets painted white and shiplap gets added just like that to the back of the bar. And yeah, everything came together great. We're just a little unsatisfied with our floor, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with that down the road. But we're living with it. We're enjoying it. We're happy. We're blessed. We're thankful. This was a picture from Christmas time that year when everything was completed. Thank you, friends, for coming along on this trip down memory lane with me. I hope you enjoyed looking back on this just as much as I have. Thank you for watching, friends, and Lord willing, there'll be another one. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe.